So, what are some things you should consider when hiring an attorney to do an estate plan for you if you're in a marriage or a partnership? I'm Christina Gorokovsky. I'm a trust and estates attorney, but I'm not your attorney. Only an attorney that you hire who knows your particular circumstances can give you legal advice and counsel. This information is just for general education purposes. How you want your property to be managed while you're alive, and also after you pass away. If you have big differences between you and your spouse about what you want to happen with your property, then it might be a good idea to have a separate attorney so that you can craft a plan that works for you. Or oftentimes you want that plan to those plans to dovetail with each other. Each spouse's to be somewhat similar, not too dramatically different. When they are very different, it becomes challenging for a trustee to manage. So that's one of the considerations. Along the same line is if you have a blended family where one of you has children or dependents from another relationship and you want to make sure they're taken care of in a certain way, and maybe your spouse, um, maybe they share that goal or maybe they don't, but you might want to create your own trust to take care of your dependents or your family members and not have to worry about coordinating that with your spouse. Um, Another reason is because you have information, personal information that you just don't want to share with your spouse. So, we really don't advise keeping secrets from the person you're in a relationship with, a partnership or a marriage. But of course, it does happen and it does happen pretty often. But in the context of estate planning, you may want to meet with your own lawyer. But why does that matter? There's actually many things that we think about representing two people as one attorney, but two things that come to mind are the attorney's duty of loyalty and duty of confidentiality. If we represent you as an individual, our job is to keep everything you tell us private. We can't disclose it even to your spouse if they ask us to do that. And our loyalty is only to you. If we represent a couple, then our loyalty is to that unit, the two of those people. And when a spouse tells us something, which does happen, we do an estate plan or we start to prepare a plan, and one spouse calls us and says, "Hey, I didn't tell you in front of my wife, but I do have a child that's born from my affair partner. I need to let you know." And it is very important, extremely important that your attorney know who your children are. And so it would be important for you to disclose that, but also your attorney would then be in a situation where they need to tell your spouse about that, or tell you that you need to tell your spouse. It's not something the attorney could keep secret because of their duty to confidentiality to you. That comes in conflict with their duty of loyalty to your spouse. So that might be a good time for you to think about hiring your own attorney. And then finally, there's just sometimes you'd rather have your own lawyer so that you can have a person you can ask questions of, bounce ideas off of without having to worry about what your spouse might think and having to worry if this is something that would cause a conflict of interest between you and your spouse and somehow impact your attorney's duties to each of you. And so what usually happens is the attorney tells you ahead of time that by representing the both of you, there's the potential for a conflict to happen and that you understand that. And even knowing this, you'd still like to get started working together. What are the benefits of working with one attorney? Well, first of all, a lot of couples like to plan for the same situations, and their plans are almost identical. And so in that case, it's just more efficient. You both don't have to schedule different meetings. You can meet at one time, and your plans can really dovetail because your attorney can say, "This is what you want, and this is what you want. Let's make it work together." That's not so easily going to happen if you have your own attorney. The other reason is because it's frankly less expensive. Hiring two lawyers, of course, is more expensive than hiring one. I hope this gives you some food for thought. Any questions you have or any thoughts that come to mind, I suggest taking them to your attorney and having a discussion about what's the right fit for you. If you have any questions generally about estate planning, feel free to leave them in the comments.